relax out on the basketball floor. When you're trusting yourself, you can relax, you can play the basketball you need to. You don't turn the basketball over when you're relaxed. Thirdly, play defense, please.
Can we put that first?
Can you play some defense?
Let's put that first.
That's the most important thing when you're trying to play winning basketball. Playing defense. That's effort, that's competing hard. That's what the Sparks will have to do tonight in order to beat the Silver Stars.
And Michael Cooper says a lack of rebounding and a lack of physical play on his team's part has really been a problem. They're going to have to deal with that here tonight. They're going to have to deal with Becky Hammon and Sophia Young, two of the most exciting players in the league. Becky Hammon runs it out front, and Sophia Young, great athlete.
Well, when you have this type of duo, inside and out, you're a very tough team to beat. Becky Hammon, one of the best basketball players to ever play in the WNBA. Flat-out shooter. She can finish around the basket with both hands. Sophia Young inside, best I've seen in a while. As athletic as they come.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have some fun tonight.
And keep an eye on a player by the name of Ann Waters. She sat out the last couple of WNBA season, but she's playing inside for San Antonio, and she is doing a great job. We've got the Sparks and the Silver Stars coming up next. By Carl's Jr. Try the new prime rib $6 burger, served with grilled onions and horseradish sauce. Only at Carl's Jr. It is a magnificent afternoon and evening for WNBA basketball, and we are glad to have you with us here on FSN Prime Ticket. Good game. We thought this was going to be a battle for first place in the West, but San Antonio kind of went up and the Sparks went down, and they'll try to gain some ground here tonight. Good starting lineup for the Silver Stars. Sophia Young, Erin Busher. Tough, hard hat kind of player. Ann Waters in the middle. That's a good picture of her. Vicki Johnson, Becky Hammon. Becky Hammon does some incredible things on the court. Unfortunately, she usually does a lot of them against the Sparks and does them very, very well. Dan Hughes is the head coach in his fourth season. Used to be the head coach of the old Cleveland Rockers. He's done a great job, as you see. 2007 WNBA Coach of the Year. Last year coached most of the season with a boot on his foot because he had a torn Achilles tendon, had to have surgery. He actually has dress shoes on tonight, we're happy to report. For the Sparks, here's the lineup. They hope we'll get him out of a bit of a rut tonight. Candice Parker, the rookie. Delisha Milton-Jones headed to the Olympics along with Lisa Leslie. Shannon Bobbitt, the rookie at the point. And Marie Ferdinand Harris, who spent the last several years with San Antonio, signed as a free agent during the offseason. Michael Cooper is the head coach of this team. His assistants, Marianne Stanley and Laura Beeman. The trainer is Rachel Schlackett. Strength and conditioning coach Bruce DZL, and the team trainer extraordinaire is Thomas Archie. Lindsay Soto working with us tonight. Lindsay, what do you got?
Well, tonight's game is important for the Sparks to win in the sense that it is their last home game for an awfully long time. They go on the road for 6 after this. Then they have to have the Olympic break coming up after that, so they won't be back here at home again until August 28th. So it is important that they take advantage of the home court advantage while they still can. The problem with that, Coop isn't sure that being at home has been an advantage for them. Their record is only 7-4 in this building, which compared to the other top teams in the league is not particularly good. And the problem with the fact that they have been struggling at home is that it puts so much pressure on them to win on the road, which is infinitely harder, and which they have not been doing. They lost their last 2 on the road by 18 points in each game. So if they want to stay in this playoff race, they have to start dominating here at home, and they would like to start doing that tonight.
Thank you, Lindsay. And Derek Fisher, when you look at those last 2 games that the Sparks have played, at Sacramento and at Seattle, they had 47 turnovers in those 2 games. That's not going to get it done.
Not at all. Turning the basketball over, in particular on the road, is extremely costly. And when you're in excess of 20 turnovers in road basketball games, not the recipe for success.
Sparks' last game was Saturday at Seattle. They lost that game 70-52 at Key Arena. Held to 52 points. Their season low previous to that this year, their season low was 69 points. So they have got to get themselves back on track, and tonight will be a great time to do it. As you heard Lindsay say, after tonight, 6 consecutive road games, 6 games in 12 nights. And then we'll have the Olympic break. And the Sparks need to be heading in the right direction before the 3 players on this team head to Beijing. We're talking about Becky Hammon. She's heading to the Olympics too, but not for the team from the United States. We're ready to go here, and Becky Hammon will bring it up first for San Antonio. Vicki Johnson, one of the original players in the WNBA. There's a handful of them left. Hammon on the left side. And Candice Parker with the rebound. Parker, the #1 rebounder in the league. Just a fraction ahead of Lisa Leslie, who's number 2. Shannon Bobbitt getting her 6th start. This is Milton-Jones inside. And Ferdinand Harris with the rebound. Inside, outside. Down low again. Tennessee connection trying to get it done, and Parker converts. Fans here getting into the tradition of standing up until the home team scores the first bucket. There have been nights where they have been standing a long time. Not tonight. Aaron Busher. And Lisa Leslie with the rebound. Lisa looking for a comeback game here tonight. She struggled the last few. Parker guarded by Busher. Decides to fire and score. When in doubt, shoot it out. 4-zip. Sparks have the lead.
Good possession by the Sparks. A couple players actually passed up on open shots early in the possession to get a really quality shot later in the clock. And when you're struggling, you have to get better shots as the possessions go on.
Hammond guarded by Bobbitt. And this is Ann Waters. Finds Hammond. And she's misfired twice from that same spot. Becky Hammond on the season shooting 34% from outside the arc. Waters reaches in, knocks it away. There's the first turnover. Hammond to Waters. San Antonio on the board. I looked at some of the box scores earlier in the year, and I saw these double-doubles that Ann Waters was putting up. Now, that's not the player I remember from New York and earlier with Cleveland. But she has really come on strong. Has had some exceptional years in Europe. Ferdinand Harris misses strong. Leslie taps it out. The Sparks will get a reset. Marie Ferdinand Harris in the offseason signed an offer sheet with the Sparks and had a conversation with San Antonio head coach Dan Hughes. Basically said, I got this offer, I really want to go. Dan was saying before the game, Parker taking it inside, we get a foul on Busher. Dan was saying, we would have matched the offer if we thought that she really wanted to stay. But when she didn't, it freed up some money, allowed him to bring in a big player and Ann Waters, and she's been a nice addition to his team. All right, 14 on the shot clock as Milton-Jones inbounds Parker. This is Marie inside, swatted away by Vicki Johnson and out of bounds off of San Antonio. How about Vicki Johnson? She's only, 57 years old? No, she's 36 years old and has been around since 1997. You look, Vicki Johnson, Lisa Leslie, Wadi Mabika, Tamika Dixon, Tina Thompson. That's the last remaining few from that first year.
Think about how amazing that must feel, though, as a professional, in your career to be one of the only few handful to be, to start a profession,
start
an industry.
And hang with it, yeah.
That's a great feeling. And Vicki Johnson, I was just reading, she's only not started 2 of her career 346 total games. So you talk about, coming to work every day. Vicki Johnson is definitely an example of it.
Sparks get it into Lisa. And her shot was tipped by Waters. Parker taking it back in and score. All 6 points for the Sparks from the rookie Candice Parker. We've got a delay of game against the Sparks. No big deal now, but if they do it again, it'll be a technical foul. Bobbitt's got a tough matchup tonight with Hammond. Ferdinand Harris guarding Vicki Johnson. And Parker's got another rebound. 6 points, 3 boards for CP. Milton-Jones comes up short. Leslie with a rebound. Put back no good. Milton-Jones inside, that's good. Dee received her Olympic jersey before tonight's game. Last week added as one of the 3 remaining players that will go to Beijing with the U.S. Olympic team. It'll be her second shot at the Olympics. The Sparks with 3 Olympians on the team. And they lead it 8-2 here in the early going at Staples.
Underneath. And this is what coaches talk about in terms of ball movement, inside out, That time the Sparks went inside, out, and back in, and you'll always get high percentage shots that way.
And 2 of those points in the paint right there. Ruth Riley's in the game for the first time. And so San Antonio going with a big lineup right now. That's Riley on the floor, used to play with Detroit. And Sparks fans remember her from the meeting those 2 teams had in the 2003 WNBA Finals.
Yeah, when I saw Ruth Riley tonight, I actually have bad feelings towards her.
Well, she had a career game in that clincher, had 27 points, and just kept hitting those shots from right around the free throw line. It was just a golden opportunity for her. She took advantage. Sparks throw it away. I think Lisa got tied up down low by Riley just a little bit, and the ball out of bounds. So 2 turnovers now against the Sparks. And Coop talked about rebounding, Fish. 8-zip. Sparks right now, 4-zip on the offensive glass.
Sparks are playing tough. Lisa's been really physical inside. Candice Parker, Delisha Milton-Jones. I think their front line has the message that we have to play tougher, we have to rebound, and they're starting the game playing that way tonight.
15 on the shot clock, Hammond to inbound. And Ferdinand Harris with a save. Nicely done. If Parker at 6'4" looks comfortable handling the basketball, you're right, she is. She can play all 5 positions, and Coop would love to play her at the point. She's just not real excited about doing that right now. Pass down low to Leslie, a little too low. And another turnover. Sophia Young driving inside. And the Sparks on the run. Shannon Bobbitt. Parker, they've done that a few times at Tennessee, and they'll do it a bunch of times here in the WNBA as well. 10-2 Sparks.
Great transition play by Shannon Bobbitt. She held the possession, made the defender commit to her, and then she made the pass to Candice Parker.
Double team on Young. They'll get it to Hammond for 3. And she's missed all 3 of her 3-point tries in the early going. Sparks will get it back here. Boy, this first quarter has zipped along. We're more than halfway through already. Always goes a little bit faster when you're winning, doesn't it, Fish?
Sure does.
Just a little bit.
It sure does.
Ferdinand Harris to Leslie. Inside on Riley. Shot won't go, but we'll have Lisa at the line. Lisa in her last 3 games, a total of 29 points, so that's less than 10 points per game. 6 rebounds per game. A total of 4 assists in her last 3 games, and 9 of 30 from the field. 11 of 17 from the free throw line. Not exactly Lisa Leslie type numbers.
No, they aren't, Larry, but you know, as an individual player, especially one of Lisa's caliber, you're always going to be impacted by the way the team is playing as well. So if you don't have players shooting the basketball well, if you're turning the basketball over as a team, if you're not rebounding the basketball and getting additional opportunities at the basket, then that starts to affect your field goal percentage and other things. And, you know, Lisa's the best to ever play this game.
Yep.
So you don't ever worry about her struggling. She'll be fine. You want to get the rest of the team going. And Candice Parker obviously has the message. She's 4 for 4 tonight with 8 points. So
pretty good message.
She's doing well. But the rest of the Sparks have to really, you know, continue to bring their energy and intensity to the game.
Lisa missed both of the free throws, and the Sparks knocked it out of bounds. Helen Darling's in the game. She played for Dan Hughes over with the Cleveland Rockers as well, and she gets tied up right here. And they're going to call a foul on Ferdinand Harris. Helen Darling, by the way, the mother of triplets.
Wow.
You got twins. You know
Wow.
a little bit. She's got 3 of them.
She wins the heroine award for me.
She must just love to come to work. Young throws it away. And the Sparks kick it back. Hammond. Up and in. 10-4. And Hammond on the board. Milton-Jones making it happen. And Bobbitt running the point. Sparks up by 8. Yeah, how many teams anywhere can say that they have 3 Olympians on their front line? That's Darling inside off the leg of Milton-Jones. Milton-Jones, Parker, and Lisa Leslie all heading to Beijing this year. And as we mentioned, Becky Hammond is going to play in the Olympics, but she's going to be playing for Russia. And that has created quite a stir around a lot of conversations. But she never really got an opportunity from the USA team. And was given an opportunity to play for Russia, and she's going to do it. Ferdinand Harris got fouled. Oh, I thought they were going to call a jump ball. He got fouled on the way in, no question about that. And foul is going to be on Sophia Young. Well, it's interesting. What a difference between the first game between these two teams and this game. That game back on June 20th. Sparks lost 77-75 at the AT&T Center, but they trailed 45-28 at half. They were down by 18 in the third, down by 10 a little bit later on. They fought their way back, but they just dug such a deep hole. They couldn't get it done, and they lost by 2. But in that game, Fish, Ann Waters had 21 points. She's going out of the game right now. Constantly getting open inside, and she ran the floor extremely well and got easy buckets in transition. We haven't seen anything that even resembles that so far tonight.
Well, the Sparks are rebounding well. So you can control tempo, you can keep teams from getting out in transition. When you're offensive rebounding and then you're controlling your defensive rebounds, you're not giving the team extra possessions on their end.
Free throws are good to make it 14-4. Trap on Darling. And roll the jump off. Delisha Milton-Jones having a couple of words. Our officials tonight, Cameron Anouye, Kurt Walker, and Felicia Grinter. Get a good look at Marie Ferdinand Harris there.
Good active defense by the Sparks. You see they're using some full court pressure to try and pick up the pace. You know, when we talked to Coach Michael Cooper before the game, he talked about how the Silver Stars like to kind of control the tempo of the game and keep the pace at a pace that they like to play. So he's using this 2-2-1, full court pressure, three-quarter court pressure to try and pick up the pace of the game, not let the Stars just walk the ball down the court.
Milton-Jones to Bobbitt. Bobbitt has not shot the ball extremely well since taking over at the starting spot. Made a nice move, couldn't get the bucket. And Darling, baseball pass up to Hammond. Loose ball out of bounds, and they'll say last touched by the LA Sparks. Becky Hammond, quite a player. Here's Shannon Bobbitt, talk about shake and bake. And I helped.
That's what you call, excuse me, I'm over here.
Another rebound for Candice Parker. And an assist here, maybe. Milton-Jones for 3. Got it.
Larry.
Nice to see that.
She stroked it. I saw her make about 5 or 6 of those before the game from that spot, and I learned something today. I learned that Delisha Milton-Jones likes to shoot the 3 from that spot.
Oh, yeah. And she was 1 for 5 over the last couple of games from outside the arc, so that's nice to see. Bobbitt getting active down low. Did she get called for the foul? Yeah, they're going to call it on Bobbitt. First on her, first against the team.
Larry, check out the Sparks with the ball movement again. Goes from Parker inside to Ferdinand, out to Bobbitt, over to Delisha. 3-point basket. When you get 4 or 5 passes in a possession, most of the time things are going to work out. You're going to get a high-quality shot.
Well, the defense can't stand still and guard you that way. Another miss by Hammond. Hammond so far 1 for 7 in the shooting department. Bobbitt taking it in strong. Well, they got to travel on that. 2 Sparks players had their hand on the ball at the same time. Can't do that. 5 turnovers now against the Sparks. Same number against San Antonio Silver Stars. Sparks came into this game number 6 in scoring in the league, 78 points per game. San Antonio 9th at 74 per. Hammond. That's the kind of shot she makes that just drives you nuts. 17-6. Hammond's got 4. Off the fingertips of Candice Parker. So 6 turnovers now in the early going. And Waters will come back in for San Antonio. Young will go out. Amber Jacobs coming in for the Sparks, replacing Shannon Bobbitt.
Larry, I watched prior to the game Becky Hammond, the 2 shots that she's made tonight. The first one, she was a little bit of a runner going towards the basket, and then that play, switching hands and then finishing with the right hand. But she practiced those before the game. And Steve Nash is an NBA player that likes to practice some of those shots with both hands around the basket before the game.
Wesley with a rebound, outlet to Jacobs. Ferdinand Harris taking it in. And Waters with some good defense and the rebound. Ball tipped. Hammond's got it. How about that?
All three of her made shots.
She probably shoots as well as anybody in this league on the run. And she makes some incredible moves in traffic against the bigger players. Like you just can't figure out how she does it. Leslie plays it high off the window, thought she got fouled. Delisha has missed her first 2 shots. And we've got a foul out top there. Amber Jacobs trying to struggle through that screen by Ann Waters. And she gets hit with the foul. First on Jacobs and the third on the team. If you're wondering about Amber Jacobs, she was with Minnesota the early years in her career and signed to an offer sheet by Washington during the offseason. Played 6 games, had an injury, and they cut her. They wanted her so bad they signed her to an offer sheet, and then boom, she was out looking for work. Sparks picked her up, signed her to a 7-day contract, and they're hoping she can help out at the guard spot. She has now picked up 2 quick fouls, and that's number 4 against the team. We're less than a minute to go here in the first quarter. Becky Hammond, I think she can close her eyes and shoot and still make free throws. She's tops in the league. Just under 95% from the line. Right now, 111 of 117 free throw attempts. And out of Colorado State back in 1999. 17-10. There's Jacobs out of Boston College. Leslie fakes, drives, kicks. Ferdinand Harris off the hardware. And Hammond always looking up court. And I don't think she meant to throw it to Candice Parker. She's always looking for that big hit when she can get it. Ferdinand Harris. Shot clock is off. 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. Well, this thing has just zipped along. Pass down to Parker, hit the backboard. 4 seconds. Better stay with Hammond. Stay with her, don't leave her alone. That was too good a look. Sparks can finally get a little breath. They lead it by 7 here at the end of the first quarter. And the San Antonio team has shot under 27% for the first quarter. Candice Parker's got 8, Milton-Jones has got 7, and the Sparks have the lead here on FSN Prime Ticket. Shooting and rebounding pretty good for the Sparks in the early going. Let's go down to Lindsay Soto. She's with Coop.
Coop, we talked before the game. You talked about how unhappy you were about getting out-rebounded in that last game. Big difference today. What's different down low?
Oh, we're active. We're getting under there. I think half our problem is people don't know when to go. But we got our 3, 4, and 5 under there. And when we rebound, we're a good basketball team.
Is this a must-win for you guys, this last game at home for a long time?
Our must-win having we didn't get the one in Sacramento and Seattle. But, yeah, for sure. We got to win this and keep ourselves rolling. And this will put us back. We got a chance to pick up a full game on this team.
Thanks, Coop.
Sparks ready to go here, and they do need, this is a must game. 6 games on the road coming up, and the Olympic break. Ferdinand Harris to Milton-Jones. And Busher comes down with the rebound. And Weege Lawson Wade in the game for the first time. A 5'6" guard from France. Bounced around just a little bit. He's got the basketball right now. Likes to take the outside shot. Refers to Waters this time. Waters getting cut off by Leslie. And a travel, so some good defense down low. And the team, San Antonio, that is known for playing team basketball and moving the basketball effectively, not getting it done tonight. And the Sparks kind of picking up on what San Antonio has been doing this year.
Larry, we're prophetic. We're prophetic.
Did you say we're pathetic?
Yeah, sometimes
well, that too, yeah.
But we talked about before the game, the Sparks playing some defense, holding the Silver Stars to less than 30% field goal percentage shooting, and forcing them into some uncharacteristic plays, turning the basketball over out of their post plays.
Rafaela Masciadri with the miss for the Sparks just in the game. Ruth Riley handle it. Out to VJ. Waters, catch, turn, shoot, good. 17-12, Waters has got 4. To the number 1 overall pick, Cleveland, back in 2000. We got a foul on the way in, so free throws coming up. The old Cleveland Rockers. Foul is on Ruth Riley. Jessica Moore getting set to check in. Just been bothered by some flu symptoms, a upper respiratory thing the last couple of weeks. Sat out in Seattle. I talked with her before the game. She says she's feeling a lot better. Mashiadri hits the first when she's had a tough time shooting. Last 5 games, 5 for 25 from the field, 3 for 15 from three-point range. Masha started 1 game so far this year. And with that free throw, she is now 11 for 13 on the season. Lisa Leslie has taken a chair. Jessica Moore is in. And Mosh will pick up BJ. Aaron Busher. Lawson Wade back to BJ. Three-pointer no good. And Mashiadri's been active since coming into the game.
He's been very active, and that's how you get yourself going, though, as a player. When you're struggling shooting the basketball, do some other things. Take your mind off of just making baskets, and then all of a sudden the ball starts to go in.
Unfortunately, that ball that went in will not count. There was a foul away from the basketball, and it will nullify the three-pointer by Delisha Milton-Jones. Foul was on Ruth Riley, so she's picked up 3 in a hurry. Riley's played 9 minutes, and she's got 3 fouls. 2 team fouls now against San Antonio here in the second quarter. Candice Parker, in and out, and Waters up high for the rebound. Lawson Wade, nice bounce to BJ. Can't convert. San Antonio gets it back again with a fresh 24-second clock. Lawson Wade, good. Starting point guard for the French national team gets her first 2 points in this game. Jessica Moore working it inside, 1 and done. San Antonio looking to cut into a 5-point deficit here. They closed out that first quarter on a 6-zip run, and we've got a bucket by Young and a foul. So you got clocked in the head, and we'll have free throws coming up for Young.
Larry, we see the Sparks using the high-low basketball play a lot, and there are the Silver Stars. That was an excellent pass by Ann Waters. She put a little spin on that ball, got it around the defender, and Sophia Young had the ability to finish that ball after getting knocked around in the face.
She's tough.
Shows great concentration.
She is tough. Sophia Young, 77% free throw shooter. He gets to the line and hits more from the free throw line than anybody else on the team. And you think, well, maybe Becky Hammond is the one. No, it's Sophia Young who gets to the line most. Mashiadri taking it all the way in for the score. Boy, Mosh looking good here. Got that sleeve off the knee. She's been wearing that the last few games, and maybe that's the difference. Steal by Milton-Jones. How about Bobbitt? Oh, if you could just finish. What a great play to start. Sparks will get another chance here. Bobbitt. The 3, in and out. And Waters with the rebound. That's 4 boards for Waters in this game. Busher taking it down low. And an offensive foul against Busher. Bobbitt hanging in there.
That's what I love about Shannon Bobbitt, Larry. I really do. You can never look at the stat sheet and say, you know, she's having a great game. But when you watch her play, she's impacting her team on both ends of the floor. Here, shortest player on the floor, getting in there, mixing it up, taking the charge, getting the extra possession for her team. That's winning basketball.
Lisa Leslie coming back in. Candice Parker will get a rest. Parker goes out with 8 points and 4 boards. Lisa and Candice tied for the league lead in double-doubles, each with 10. Little high-low action, good. 23-17, first points in the game for Lisa Leslie. Young guarded by Milton-Jones. Lost it off the foot, out of bounds. 10 turnovers now against San Antonio. Sparks, though, have only cashed in for 4 points. LA with 7 turnovers, and San Antonio's gotten 6 points off of those. Candice Parker getting a rest. She had a couple of great games on July 6th and the 9th. 31 points against Phoenix, 40 against Houston. Lisa Leslie got popped in the eye, I think. The ball is out of bounds. Lisa's saying, come on, I got fouled. My eyeball almost fell out. Back in a moment. To have the lead, Lisa Leslie with only 2 points, but she has shown some moves, even though she turned 36 years old back on the 7th of July. She can still do it, Fish.
Larry, let's take a look at this play. Look at Ann Waters providing a lot of pressure as Lisa tries to go down to the low post at the high block. So as Lisa feels Ann Waters start to front her and high side her, she spins out for the pass from Jessica Moore. Jessica puts it in a perfect spot where only Lisa could catch it and finish. Great high-low play by the Sparks.
San Antonio has hit 3 of their 5 shots in this quarter. The Sparks just 2 of 8. And LA up by 6 right now. Mashiadri catch and shoot. Milton-Jones the rebound. The Olympian tacks it up and in. 9 points for Milton-Jones. Monique Atunrache is in the game. San Antonio, rookie out of Texas A&M. Missed inside by Waters. She wanted a foul call. And Bobbitt in a hurry. San Antonio got a 4-on-2. There's Waters running the floor. And that's a lot more like what we saw down in San Antonio. Waters has got a half dozen. And we're halfway through the second quarter. Becky Hammond back on the floor, and she's guarding Bobbitt. Darling picks up Mashiadri. Leslie, the fade, off the heel. And again, Mashiadri for going over the back. Or do they catch Helen Darling? Interesting call. Let's go down to Lindsay Soto. Lindsay.
I had a chance to talk to Delisha Milton-Jones about making the Olympic team this week before the game, and I am not sure that there is anybody more excited to go to Beijing than she is. She called it redemption. She was really bummed, as you may remember, to miss the Athens games because of an injury, and she confessed to me that she was actually really nervous about whether or not she was going to make the team this year. She found herself studying the first 9 players on the roster, trying to figure out what the committee might be looking for, and she was afraid that they were going to go young with her spot. So needless to say, she was really excited that they didn't, and so was her husband. He was driving her around here in LA when she got the call, and he had to pull over. He was so excited.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Ann Waters with the miss. Delisha is one who wears the emotions on the sleeve, and most of the time it's that big smile that she's got. Leslie from the paint. Good.
There's great patience there by Lisa. Took her time, caught the ball right there in the middle of the floor. A lot of taller, bigger post players. They're uncomfortable with the ball. They're far away from the basketball. Lisa's as versatile as a post player you'll ever see to play the game, and just took her time to make the shot there.
VJ on the pull-up. Save by Atunrache, but it's back to the Sparks. Bobbitt trying to do a little Becky Hammond type stuff, and Hammond gets called for the foul. By the way, Hammond has made a 3-pointer in all but 3 games so far this season, but tonight 0 for 5 so far. She commits the foul on Bobbitt. Bobbitt taking it inside.
Larry, Shannon hasn't made 1 shot tonight, but she's retaining her confidence, and she's continuing to attack and be aggressive. She's making good decisions with the basketball. 4 assists, only 1 turnover. Now she'll get a chance to maybe go knock a couple free throws down, and maybe the basket will start to open up for her. But she's contributing to the team no matter what, whether she makes a shot or not. She's playing good basketball.
The Sparks have really been searching for somebody to handle the point guard spot on this team. And they've gone through several different players, and they're still picking their spots along the way. But right now, Shannon Bobbitt is their starter.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shannon's doing a good job at the point guard position. What the Sparks are going to have to do to have some success is find some perimeter shooting, consistent perimeter shooting to open up opportunities even more for their front line. You know, there are 3 great players on the front line.
Turnover gives it back to LA. Bobbitt taking it in again. This time she rolls it up and in. 4 points for Bobbitt. Nikki Johnson gets a couple back in a hurry. And you got the kid at one end and you got the veteran at the other end. Each of them choosing a different way of getting it done.
Talk about the veteran, boy. Vicky Johnson, she has a sandwich named after her at the famous New York Carnegie Deli called the VJ Classic.
The VJ Classic?
Yeah.
Of course, she played for the New York Liberty.
Yeah.
And so did Becky Hammond. I'm glad you brought that up because Becky Hammond had the ham and egg and cheese sandwich at the Carnegie Deli.
Nice.
I'm getting hungry.
Sounds good.
Timeout here at Staples. On over the last 4 minutes and 20 seconds. They lead by 10, and Shannon Bobbitt has been leading the squad along the way, Fish.
Larry, we talked before the game off camera. We talked about the energy of this team, and Shannon Bobbitt doing a great job pushing the basketball, making plays for other people, also making plays for herself, attacking, being aggressive. You know, the energy of a basketball team, you know, when you look at the Sparks, the energy every night, the intensity is not going to always come from Lisa Leslie, from Delisha Milton-Jones. It's going to come from your younger players, your players that don't play as many minutes, that have to bring the energy and just playing all out crazy out there when they get out there on the floor. And that's what the Sparks need. Shannon Bobbitt's providing that tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, that may have been the worst free throw that Marie Ferdinand Harris has shot this year. She's so good, second in the league, just under 95% from the stripe. And that's a little more like it. She's now 52 for 55 this season, right behind Becky Hammond in the free throw derby. Sophia Young again to get on track. Hammond. Atun Rache, good for three. 32-24. First points for Atun Rache. Second round pick from Atlanta. And picked up in a trade with San Antonio. Bobbitt wants three. And the ball off the top of the backboard and out of bounds. Shannon Bobbitt out of the Bronx in New York. Here's San Antonio, Hammond. And Atun Rache
knocks it down.
Out of New Orleans, as you might guess from the last name. The Southwood High School down there in New Orleans. The San Antonio players running into each other on that. VJ, Atun Rache wants the left side this time. Not going to get it. And ball out of bounds to the Sparks. Interesting, the Sparks with 8 turnovers so far in this game. Lisa Leslie, Delisha Milton-Jones, and Candice Parker are all in the top 7 in the league in most turnovers per game. All of them with more than 3 per game. So when you look at the turnover situation, it's not the young players who are committing the majority. It's the veteran players up front. Leslie got popped from behind by, I think Young was ready for the foul call. It never came. Ball out of bounds off of San Antonio. Sydney Spencer's in the game for the first time. She just happens to be the top 3-point shooter in the league right now at 50%, 24 of 48. And has been fighting for playing time this year. She's got it right now. Leslie, the rebound, the putback, and she'll go to the line. I think Lisa might have got an elbow or a hand to the face of Candice Parker. A little friendly fire right there. Parker wearing that harness on the left shoulder. Of course, that's the shoulder that popped out a couple of times during the NCAA tournament. And so far, no real problems with it this year. She's had some times when yeah, she got hit in the eye, I think. Some people will say that she's not doing as much with her left hand as maybe she did during her collegiate days, but she's doing pretty darn well. Parker's 7th in the league in scoring, over 18 points per game. The league's top rebounder. Second to Lisa Leslie in block shots and 10 double-doubles. Not too shabby. And Lisa's free throw good. 34-24, we're inside of 2 minutes to play.
Sparks continue to use the full court pressure to try and speed the game up, make the Stars play a little faster than they'd like to. Try to keep them from getting that ball inside of Sophia Young with too many seconds left on the shot clock.
A bunch of curveballs and changeups from the Sparks in this game, and really, I think it's kind of kept San Antonio off balance. Atun Rache might have been tapped from behind by Lisa, and a late whistle. And they're going to catch Lisa Leslie with the foul. We've got a little time here. Let's go down and check in with Lindsay Soto. Linz?
Just want to remind you not to go anywhere at halftime. We have a lot coming up for you. Derek Fisher is going to be sitting down with Candice Parker, so we will get a chance to hear from her. And I'm going to talk to the owners, Kathy Goodman and Carla Christofferson, in their second year with the Sparks at the helm. We will hear their thoughts on this season so far. Have they been disappointed that the Sparks have not lived up to the hype to this point? They're also going to talk about the effect that Candice Parker has had on the league. That's coming up at the break.
Atun Roche, good from the line. 34-26, and we have 93 seconds left here in the first half. All that good stuff coming up. You have a good time sitting down talking to Candice?
Great time. You know, very rarely you get a chance to sit next to greatness. For me, you know, playing in the men's game and playing with Kobe, playing with Shaq, and playing under field, you know, those are great experiences for me. But you know, I've been a fan of Candice's, you know, watching her in college and keeping up with her career, and now for her to be here in LA, it was a great opportunity just to talk basketball with, you know, what I think will be one of the greatest women's players to ever play once her career is complete.
She does more things at this point in her career than I think anybody that I can remember playing the game since it all started back in '97. I mean, coming in as a rookie, and she should just get better and better.
She's that complete of a player, and I think, you know, she's benefited from Vicki Johnson and Lisa Leslie and Tamika Dixon and Tina Thompson, and watching all these great women play over the last 10 or 12 years. And, you know, now she'll carry the torch for the next 10, 12, 15 years, and all the young girls will get a chance to pattern themselves after her, and there'll be another great one that comes along, and we'll talk about comparing her to Candice Parker from 15 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of her jerseys are being sold, and I'll tell you what, every arena that we go into, she always gets a nice round of applause. A lot of Tennessee fans around the country, but a lot of fans just appreciating the way she plays the game. Foul on Lisa Leslie, and Lisa not happy about it at all. That'll be 2 on Lisa. Take a look at it again. Oh no, a phantom call. And I don't mean of the opera. Sophia Young, free throw good. Silver Stars with 27 points. That is their low for first half so far this season. They did that just the other night against Atlanta. And now they don't have to worry about it. 35-28. They were down by 16 to Atlanta in the second half the other night. They had to fight their way back. Milton-Jones guarded by the rookie, Atun Roche. Turns baseline. Pretty good defense down there. They're trying to trap Hammond. She passes out of that. Atun Roche to Vicki Johnson. VJ taking it inside on the pass, and Young will go to the free throw line. They're going to call the foul on Candice Parker. You know why Candice Parker wears number 3?
I don't.
I'm about to tell you. It's because she's a big fan of Allen Iverson.
I don't like that.
I didn't think you would. They said big fan of Allen Iverson.
A big fan of Allen Iverson. I'm going to have to talk to Candice about that at some point. I'm sure 2 was available.
You know, you can only make so many good decisions.
True.
You have to make some poor choices along the way.
True.
And maybe we can put that in that category.
Okay. I'll tell her you said it. I didn't say it.
Freebies make it 35-30. Your dad wore number 32 when he was playing in college. Does that make you feel any better?
Yeah, I mean, at least there's a 2 in there. At least I have a chance.
Now, why did you pick 2?
Why did I pick 2?
Yeah.
Well, I used to wear number 4 for a very long time. And when I was drafted by the Lakers, I had actually chosen number 4. And you'll see some of my rookie trading cards with the number 4 on it.
Really?
But what happened was Byron Scott came back and played that 1 year. And
Scott.
Obviously there was no argument over who was going to wear number 4.
No.
So I kindly gave it up with no argument, and number 2 lives.
And Waters on the deck. And an offensive foul on Lisa. Wow, 3 fouls on Lisa here, and Jess Moore is going to come in a hurry with 20 seconds to go before halftime. Lisa will take a chair. She's got 6 points and 7 rebounds. Well, there was contact. And an Emmy Award-winning performance by Ann Waters.
Yes.
Hammond for three. Got her first one of the night. We've got a 2-point game. 8 seconds to go. Bobbitt. All the way in. 2 seconds. 1 second, that's going to do it. Well, the Sparks at one point had a 13-point lead. Here at halftime, they're up by only 2. 35-33. Parker and Milton-Jones with 9 apiece for the Sparks. Hammond leading the way for San Antonio with 11. We'll take a break. Back with more in a moment.
Through the roof. In fact, they're so high that on Saturday in Seattle, when she got the ball in the open court and then laid it in, the Storm fans booed. When was the last time that a crowd booed because a visiting player didn't dunk on their team? She is something special, and she sat down with our Derek Fisher before the game.
Thank you, Lindsay. Candice, talk to us. We're midway through your first WNBA season. Tell the viewers how you're feeling, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the team.
It's definitely been a struggle at times. Going straight from college into the WNBA, it's definitely been an adjustment period, but my teammates have really helped me to adjust. We're mid-season through. Obviously not exactly where we wanted to be, but still in the contention for the Western Conference, being best overall. And so, we're just going to go out and continue to play hard every night.
So tell me the truth, player to player. A player like yourself who's so used to winning, I'm sure at every level, obviously back-to-back national championships at Tennessee. How does it feel so far with a team so talented? And like you mentioned, that you aren't where you really want to be as a team right now.
I think it's difficult at times because you expect so much of yourself and of your team. But we just have to continue to rely on each other and not give up hope. I've been on championship teams, and the thing about it that separates championship teams from just contenders is that you keep believing. Even when the fans stop believing, or even when the media stop believing, or even when people want to give you a hard time, you continue to just rely on each other. And we haven't stopped believing in ourselves, and we know what we're capable of.
So halfway through this first season for you, what's been the biggest difference for you? I know for me, everybody was so much bigger than I played against in college. Talk to me about the differences for you from the college game to now the professional women's game. Night
in and night out, everybody's coming at you with their best shot, and people are bigger, stronger, faster. You don't get as much time to, recuperate before the next game. And that's the toughest thing. And night in and night out, you're playing the best. I mean, in college, it was sometimes like, all right, you'd have a great game, great team. We battle LSU, and then you turn around and play a sub-500 team. That's not the case here. You're playing, people that are capable of beating you every night, and I think that's like the biggest adjustment.
Candice, thank you so much for your time. Lindsay, back to you.
It's a long year for Candice Parker, coming straight off her college season at Tennessee. They, of course, went very long into the season, won the national championship, now the WNBA season, and then immediately after that, she's going to China to play in the Olympic Games in Beijing. She is one of 12 people from the United States that will be representing the USA, looking for their 4th straight gold medal in Beijing. And the recent ads this week, Delisha Milton-Jones.
Jump ball. Let's check in with Lindsay Soto. Lindsay.
Talked to Michael Cooper on his way out here to the floor. He said this: rebounding has been a plus for us. Transition D has to get better, and we have to find Becky Hammond in their half-court sets. I asked him about Lisa Leslie's foul trouble, whether or not he was concerned. He shook his head, said, no, I don't think this team can foul her out.
Interesting. Jump ball between Young and Leslie. And Young comes down with it. That would be a no-no. Are they going to jump it over? Cameron Anuye making the call. There's your top scorers in the first half for the Sparks. And over on the San Antonio side of things, Becky Hammond, 11 points. So he's tops in the game. So a violation on the jump. And the Sparks will get it. Parker getting it into Bobbitt. They're on the floor with Milton-Jones, Leslie, and Ferdinand Harris. So each team with their original starting 5 from tonight, starting the second half as well. Ferdinand Harris, shot blocked by Vicki Johnson. I don't think Marie ever really got that onto her fingertips. And an opportunity here for San Antonio. tie this game or go ahead with a 3. Boy, 3-point shooting in the first half. 2 of 10 San Antonio, 1 of 8 LA Sparks. 6 on the shot clock. Young to Waters. Parker coming in for the block, and we've got a foul. Talking with Dan Hughes before the game, Fish, and he was saying how good Ann Waters is at adjusting to the passes that come in. So good that the guards feel they can just throw it anywhere. And Ann Waters can get to it, and a lot of times she does. But when she's out of the game, they'll bring in some of the other post players, and they're not quite as adept at doing it, but the guards keep tossing it in, and Ruth says, come on, let me get set first, then toss it to me. So she's got some real skills that they take advantage of when Waters is in the game.
Well, it's important to understand, in particular as the passer, what we call KYP. That means know your personnel. So you know who you're passing to, you know if you can lead the player, or you know if you have to wait for them to get set and then hit the spot right where they are.
All tied at 35. Ferdinand Harris tries to break the tie. And the Sparks will get another chance. The Sparks were up by 13 in the first half. And here we are tied at 35. And really, we haven't seen San Antonio play close to their best basketball. Bobbitt with the left hand scores inside. Sparks back on top. Becky Hammond with 6 on the shot clock. Tied up by Bobbitt. And a jump ball. Hammond wanted a foul call. But Bobbitt getting it done out front this time.
She's playing hard, Larry. She really is playing really hard.
Let's see if there was... Well, she's on the ball. She was definitely on the ball. Becky Hammond getting roughed up a little bit by the Rook. Four on the shot clock. What was that? That was a turnover. That's what that was. And that was a veteran player making it. There's that Tennessee connection again for 2 for Parker. And every time I mention Tennessee, I know the people back there in the volunteer state go nuts. I get emails all the time. Lady Vol fans just all excited to hear about Bobbitt, Parker, Sydney Spencer, that Tennessee trio. Here's Bobbitt. Leslie, Parker, he got a ride from Aaron Busher. So the foul on Busher. And that'll be her 3rd. First here in the second half. Busher will take a chair. Busher wearing that knee brace on the left leg. Had ACL surgery last year. The same doctor who operated on Dan Hughes for his torn Achilles tendon. She's come back strong. And Waters with a rebound. That's her 6th of the game. 4-point Sparks lead. Hammond wants 3 right here. And there's Bobbitt with a rebound. Up to Ferdinand Harris. Hammond saved it, but touched it out of bounds. Well, the Sparks really trying to make some things happen here. And there's a little bit of that transition that they've been looking for, too.
Well, Coop talked about it before the game. You know, the Silver Stars like to control the pace, and he's trying to pick up the pressure with some full-court defense, and Shannon Bobbitt's doing a great job of getting the ball out offensively in transition to try and keep the pace of this game up.
Bobbitt got another rebound. Leslie got harassed down there by San Antonio and lost it out of bounds. 9 turnovers. Check that, 10 turnovers now against the Sparks. 11 points off of those for San Antonio. We'll get a chance here to read some of the emails that we got this week. One might be of interest to you, Fish. If you're interested in sending emails, just go to the Sparks website, lasparks.com. Check my blog page. All the info is right there. Block shot by Milton-Jones. Pass to Bobbitt. Inside, Leslie. Up with the left hand and in. 8 points for Lisa Leslie to go with her 7 rebounds. Delisha at Seattle the other night, 9 points and 10 rebounds. And needed 1 point about the last 5 minutes to get another double-double. Couldn't get it. And Waters scoring inside.
It was one of those plays you talked about where they led and Waters to the basket. A lot of coaches tell you to throw that pass towards the corner of the backboard, let the post player go get it. And Waters is great at catching and finishing around the rim.
And she's got another rebound. That's kind of like a quarterback in football. You throw before the receiver makes his move. You throw to a spot.
The quarterback
to get there.
Yeah, the quarterback has to know which receivers that he or she could do that with.
You can lead some of them so much,
yes,
other ones not so much.
They can't.
Yeah. What was that? KYP?
Yes. Know your personnel.
Know your personnel. 4-point game. Nice pass inside. Parker couldn't hang on to it. Riley touched it last.
Speaking of personnel, Larry, you know, when you talk about winning, stars are going to be stars. We talked about prior to the game. We talk about Lisa. We normally talk about Candice Parker. We talk about Delisha. Those are going to be your 3 leading scorers for the Sparks. For the Stars, Sophia Young, Becky Hammond, and Waters. What other players on either team can make the difference? Is it a Vicki Johnson? Is it a Shannon Bobbitt? Is it a Marie Ferdinand Harris? You know, is it a Ruth Rowley? Which one of those players is going to step up and be the difference in this 4-point game?
Somebody's got to do it, and not necessarily the same person. It could be a different person each game.
Yes.
It's just got to be somebody who seizes the opportunity.
That's why the coaches say be ready to play every night. There's not a night that you take off in terms of not being ready to play. You never know when it's your night.
Foul was on Ferdinand Harris. Free throws for Young. And the first one's too strong. That's the first miss for San Antonio tonight. They're 11 of 12 from the stripe. A good free throw shooting team. Number 2 in the league, as a matter of fact, 81% on the season. Sophia Young from Grenadine, West Indies. And their second free throw good. This is part of that great Baylor National Championship team. 3-point game now. And Riley pushing off on Lisa Leslie inside. Ruth Riley, a first-round pick of Miami back in 2001. How many people remember the Miami Soul, one of the teams that folded during the growth of this league? Cleveland was another one. Portland, the old Portland Fire. Hop, skip, and a pass, and a steal by Hammond. Vicki Johnson, there's Waters running the floor. Does it so well. And that's exactly what the Sparks don't want to see. Turnovers leading to easy buckets. 1-point LA lead. Mashiadri up off the bench. She'll check in next time we've got a whistle. Milton-Jones double. Bobbitt for 3. Leslie and Bobbitt both went after the rebound, and BJ came out with it. To Hammond. And Hammond scores inside. All of a sudden, Silver Stars on top, 42-41, and getting into their tempo a game again, Fish. That's the way they like to play. And Michael Cooper doesn't like the way that his team is playing. So they'll take a timeout, 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the third. San Antonio on top by 1 here at Staples Center.
Not now.
You go zipping by on the 405, that kind of thing?
No, that's not me. That's not me. No, I'm a pretty safe driver. You know, most of the time I keep it, you know, within, 8 to 10 miles per hour over the speed limit.
Oh, my goodness.
I try to, keep my eye out for CHP and LAPD and whatnot.
I drive 45 all the time.
No way.
No matter where I am.
Larry, don't lie to the people like that. Don't tell the people stories like that, Larry. Come on, man.
Leslie down low. Can the Sparks get the lead back? Going against Riley. Fake. Nice move inside. Shot won't go. Bobbitt's got it, though. Lisa 3 for 8 in the shooting department. Inside of 4 to play here in the third. There's that Tennessee connection again. Bobbitt to Parker.
Larry, I was just going to say, Shannon Bobbitt, she had tied her season high in assists with 6 before that. Now 7 assists season high with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. She's distributing the ball really well.
And no question, that's the direction the Sparks are looking tonight. And Waters with a nice shot from inside the arc. Stars back on top. Milton-Jones tried to corral that one, couldn't get it. There's D heading back on defense.
High-low from Shannon Bobbitt to Candice Parker. Would you say low-high? If Shannon passes to Candice, it's low-high, right?
Low-high,
That's how it works, okay.
And Waters is still trying to figure out where Parker is. 13.6 boards for CP tonight. Out to Milton-Jones. Nice fake. Got it. A three-pointer for Milton-Jones, her second of the night. 46-44. Sparks back on top. DMJ's got 12.
So second tonight from the same spot on the floor. That's her spot. If she shoots three from there, she'll make it every time.
Mickey Johnson. You get Waters for going over the back. Yep. Foul on Ann Waters. Now, as a player, Fish, when you're out there, do you know you're hot from a spot? And if you are, do you try to get yourself to that spot as often as possible in the game?
Yeah, you know there are certain spots on the floor where you tend to shoot the ball better at higher percentages. And hopefully you're a student of your own game at least to know where your spots are. And you definitely try and find those spots in the game. And oftentimes you'll see, as the stats go on for the season, you'll have a higher number of field goal attempts from similar spots on the floor. And that's because those are the spots where you like to operate.
Absolutely. Comfort zone. Parker double team, fouled from behind by Sophia Young. Sparks still with a big advantage on the offensive glass. Second foul on Young, and that's 4 now against San Antonio. So 14 on the shot clock as Mashiadri gets set to inbound. Here's Mash. 5 on the shot clock. Trying to go high-low again. Parker thought she got held up, tripped up or something. She definitely did not get to where the ball was. And Lisa Leslie having some words with referee Kurt Walker. There's your offensive boards. Or for San Antonio, we should say offensive board. Milton-Jones got a shot in the chops. And Young gets hit with another foul.
Larry, this is a good first place type basketball game. You know, you have the best team in the West, the Sparks, who've been struggling, trying to fight to get back to the top of the West. And you're seeing physical play, fouls, complaining to the referees. You know, both of these players and teams are into this game.
It better be. Parker on the block. From the baseline. And Helen Darling come out with the rebound. Now, I tell you, that's a great play. We have seen too many times this year where the Sparks did not get the advantage on those situations, or maybe didn't even go after the steal. We had 2 Sparks in there trying to get a piece of that basketball from Helen Darling. And Masha's in there, D is in there. Good, I like to see that.
That's playing hard, Larry. That's what you have to do. You know, Coop talked about it before the game. They had an intense practice. You know, he felt like they were focused before tonight's game, and they're giving the effort that they need to give in order to be the best in the Western Conference.
Now, they need to get back on track because, truthfully, they've been outplayed, outworked, out-hustled in recent games, and they're just too good to play that poorly. Mosh and Darling. Darling didn't even jump for that one. And they'll get it into the hands of Bobbitt. Problem with the clock. They'll go back to a full 24. Nope, 20 seconds. Mashiadri will inbound. Dan Hughes, pretty good coach, I'd say. And he took over a San Antonio franchise that was just in dire straits. Slowly but surely, he's built the kind of program that he wants. Nice pass from D, and Parker converts. An Olympic duo right there. Sparks up by 4. Hammond, the runner won't go this time. Parker behind the back. Out to Bobbitt. Oh. Bobbitt with the save, but she saved it to San Antonio. Bobbitt hit the deck face first. Some of her teammates picked her up, pushed her back out on the court. San Antonio loses it. Sydney Spencer and Christy Thomas were down on the bench. They just picked Bobbitt up and pushed her back on the court.
Larry, Shannon, she's all over the place tonight, and she's giving great effort. But the Sparks, in order to find some success the rest of the season and contend for a championship, their starting backcourt is 2 for 19 now from the field. And, you know, you have to loosen things up for their great front line with great perimeter shooting, and they have to be able to execute in a way to get good shots for their shot makers.
Parker missed inside. Milton-Jones tapped it out. Yeah, I think they're finally getting to the point where they're comfortable with Bobbitt at the point guard spot. And now it's finding somebody at that 2 guard or somewhere on the floor who's going to be able to open things up with the outside shooting.
That comes down to execution a lot of times as well. You know, when you have a great front line, they're scorers, so they aren't used to maybe setting the picks and doing the things that'll free up the shooters because they're looking to get the basketball. So it also will take a commitment from Lisa and Delisha and Candice to free their shooters up and help them get good shots from the perimeter.
Hammond just not making those shots she usually makes it. How about some defense there by Atun Rache? A little bit too much contact, and we'll have free throws coming up for Candice Parker, and she is grimacing at the moment. She may just be a little winded. And why not? 25 minutes played already.
Candice Parker, smart basketball player. She was pushing the ball up there, kept her eye on the clock the whole time. Didn't get in a rush, didn't try and shoot the ball too fast, and got right to a spot on the floor where she could still get the shot off before the clock runs out.
0.3 seconds left. And Parker 1 for 2 from the stripe in tonight's game. 16 points and 7 rebounds. Milton-Jones has got 12. So Parker and Leslie tied with 7 boards. Best on the Sparks tonight. Waters leading the way in rebounding for San Antonio with 8. Second one is good. Sparks are up by 6. And they'll take a half-dozen-point lead into the 4th quarter. 17 points for Parker. She's leading the way, and the Sparks shooting just 33%. But they lead by 6 heading into the final quarter here at Staples Center. Sparks co-owner Carla Christofferson. That would be her team. The LA Sparks. And the Sparks enjoying a lead here as we get set for the 4th quarter. We have 2 of the most fun-loving owners in the entire WNBA. I'll tell you right that with Carla and Kathy Goodman. Kathy's got her folks here again tonight, in from the New York State area. Sparks have Mashiadri, Moore, Bobbitt, Milton-Jones, and Parker on the floor to start the 4th. Waters into the corner, Busher. Busher went to UCSB for a while, finished up her college career at the Masters College. Loose ball. And a 24-second clock violation. A case for the defense. 16 turnovers now against San Antonio. They are right at their season average, and we've still got about 9.5 minutes to play in this game. Edwina Lawson-Wade is in the game, and she's guarding Shannon Bobbitt. Bobbitt takes it through. Milton-Jones to miss. Jessica Moore with a rebound and a reset for LA. Mashiadri in front of her own bench. Bobbitt to Milton-Jones to Mashiadri. And another offensive rebound for the Sparks. Mosh up with the left hand, got her own rebound, and another reset. I don't think we've seen this since the first couple of weeks of the season.
Competing? You haven't seen that? Yeah, it's been a while, right?
Working hard, going to the boards, fighting, scrapping, doing all those fundamental things and the intangibles. 3 on the shot clock. Number 3 fires. And this time, San Antonio comes out of the pack with the basketball. The Sparks have a 14-1 advantage on the offensive glass. Lisa Leslie will check in next time we got a whistle. Ruth Riley. That's the shot she hit in that finals competition against the Sparks. Playing catch. Milton-Jones misses from three-point range. The Sparks 2 for 15 from outside the arc. And San Antonio not a whole lot better, 2 for 13 from long distance. VJ. Still pretty sweet, 4-point game.
Vicki Johnson, 12th year in the WNBA. She's a long jump champion in the high school.
Definitely an athlete. 20 points for Candice Parker. She's 1 rebound away from a double-double. She and Lisa tied for the league lead with 10 dubs. And we've got a foul. Free throws coming up for VJ. Here comes Lisa to come back into the game. And we'll get to see Keisha Brown for the first time. The Sparks were experimenting, trying to find somebody to handle the point. They had Keisha Brown handle it for 9 games. She did pretty well. But they kept changing, and now they've settled on Bobbitt. Parker and Bobbitt will sit down as Leslie and Brown come in.
And I know the viewers are watching, and they're trying to figure out, okay, Candice Parker just made a 3, and Michael Cooper takes her out of the game.
Right.
And that's what coaches have to, try and decide what's best for their team. Right now, what he feels like are probably the players that are playing the best for him. Candice Parker Strong, Shannon Bobby running the team. Get them 2 or 3 minutes of rest right now. Try and hold on to this lead, and then get them back in the game where they can finish the game down the stretch without being too fatigued.
Well, and how would you like to be a coach who looks down the bench and said, we need to get a rest for Parker. Let's put Lisa Leslie in. He's got some versatility that most coaches don't have. Leslie, and to back her way in, they'll call a blocking foul on Ann Waters. Or like a falling foul that time. Waters says, what? She knocked me down. Take a look at it again, Fish.
Well, the play starts, I think, Lisa with an elbow to Ann Waters' chops that was incidental. And, Waters goes down, Lisa trips over her, and she's trying to figure out why is the foul on her. But things go that way sometimes. Just have to get up and keep playing.
Milton-Jones in the corner. Jessica Moore will have some free throws coming up. And you know what, Fish, you think about it too. Remember the play in the first half where Ann Waters kind of took the flop? I think referees remember that. And sometimes you try to do it on them too often. And even if it's not the situation where you have been fouled, sometimes that sticks in their head and they think, well, she's flopping.
That's the truth, Larry. For years, that was my reputation for whatever reason, that I was a flopper. And so in the last, few years, 3 or 4 years, referees have gotten away from, giving you a call if they feel like you're flopping. And I know in the NBA, they've really made an emphasis for the referees to stay away from all the flopping, even so much that they're thinking of instituting a finding system for players that they feel like are flopping out on the court. And so referees do call the game based on tendencies at times. You're absolutely correct.
Jessica Moore missed one and hit one. And the Sparks lead is 6 points. Becky Hammond steps in. She's just not getting her shots tonight. And the Sparks are not letting her get easy shots either. Keisha Brown, got it. Fresh in off the bench, and she nails it. And Fish, the Sparks got a little attitude tonight. It's nice to see.
They surely do.
They got a little attitude.
They surely do. And players sometimes they follow the personality of their coach, and Michael Cooper tries to watch it, with his attitude, but he's there. He's keeping them fired up tonight.
Sparks have the lead as we head to break. Candice Parker leading the way for the Sparks with 20 points. And Fish, you were prophetic before tonight's game.
Pathetic sometimes, prophetic tonight. The Sparks playing defense like we talked about before the game, being aggressive after loose balls. They're believing each other. They're moving the basketball, high-low passes, inside and out, and relaxing, trusting your ability, trusting in who you are. Candice Parker knocking down the three-point shot there. Sparks, 8-point lead here, 6 minutes to go.
Got a whistle before the shot by Vicki Johnson. Candice Parker is 1 rebound away from a double-double. There's wisdom from the Fish from before tonight's game. I feel a mantra coming on here, Fish. We should have some of that spa music in the background.
Well, I'm trying to learn, you know, playing under Phil Jackson for now
exactly
6 years. You know, I'm trying to learn from the Zen master.
Do you feel as though you're in the moment
yes,
right now?
I'm in the moment.
Okay, good. Hammond guarded by Jessica Moore. Becky Hammond 5 for 17 in the shooting department tonight. Masiadri, top of the key. Oh, in and out, and then back in again. That's when you know it's your night. Sparks are up by 10.
She's been aggressive the entire night, though, and those shots go in for you when you're aggressive, you're confident, you're feeling good about your game, and Masha's played well tonight. She really has.
Hammond just keeps firing, and ball out of bounds. And Lisa and Mosh both went after it, couldn't get to it, so San Antonio will get the basketball back.
Larry, check this out here. See the basket there?
If you put a nose in the middle of that, we'll have a face.
It would be nice.
Could you do that?
It would be nice. Friendly bounce.
Hammond hopping around and in. That's the kind of stuff. She's done that over the years. She just kills the Sparks with shots like that.
And I was going to say, what separates her, Lisa Leslie, some of the best women's players to play at this level. 5 for 17, like you said a couple minutes ago, but she still believes that her next shot is going to go in.
That's
She's
right.
going to stay aggressive, keep attacking the basket. You know, you're struggling 5 for 17, and you go inside with all the trees and throw up a reverse layup underneath the traffic. That's confidence and continuing to believe in yourself, and the great ones are able to do that almost every night.
Sophia Young pulling her way inside, and she gets called with the offensive foul. Well, Hammond was like a pogo stick on that last shot. That's 4 fouls on Sophia. Coop wanted his team to play physically. Well, San Antonio's doing the same thing. They got caught that time. Jessica Moore goes out of the game. The Sparks now with Masiadri, Leslie, Milton-Jones, Parker, and Keisha Brown on the floor. Leslie in the paint. Double teamed. Went to the bank, no deposit. Well, that free throw is coming up. That was a slow evolving play. And I know that our friends in Tennessee are saying, why isn't Shannon Bobbitt in the game? Why is she still on the bench?
I'm sure they are saying that.
Oh, they are, believe me.
She's played a good, really, really good basketball game. You know, coaches have to make decisions. She's played a lot of minutes tonight. And the one thing you need down the stretch is you need basketball players that are going to be fresh. They're going to be able to make solid decisions with the basketball. And if you're fatigued, you can't do that. This is Shannon Bobbitt's first year. You know, Coop's trying to find some things, still find out what his team is about. Wants to see if he can trust, you know, Keisha Brown in this situation. I'm sure she'll be back before the 4:36 is up.
I think you're right. I mean, it's a 10-point game, but against San Antonio, that can go away in a hurry. And the Sparks are in no position in the standings to be experimenting in a game against the first-place team. Hammond couldn't get the shot, but she'll go to the line, and she's at nails from the stripe. Call the foul on Keisha Brown. Interesting career for Keisha Brown along the way. Originally signed by the Sparks back in 2001, she got waived. Played for 4 years in Washington. Played 10 games with Houston in 2005, with New York for 16 games. Minnesota for the first 3 games of last year. And got cut. The Sparks picked her up, and she's stuck and has done a real nice job. Really more of a 2-guard, but they need her to play the point, and she's really done a pretty good job of it.
She has, and you know, we were down on the floor talking to the coaches and players before the game. What did you see Keisha Brown working on?
Her dribbling.
Her ball handling and her dribbling, and that's what you do when you want to improve, you want to get better, you work at your skills that you're weak on, and she's doing that, trying to transition herself into more of a lead or point guard. She's done a good job.
Parker. Out to Mosh. Back to CP. 5 on the shot clock. Little jump hook. Leslie the rebound. There's the putback. There's some teamwork.
Patience. Ball goes inside. Candice Parker feels stuck. Goes back out to Mosh. Back into Candice. She gets a good shot. Lisa Leslie crashes the glass. Good possession.
Turnover against San Antonio. Helen Darling tossed it away. Lisa Leslie, 12 points, 9 rebounds. 1 board away from a double-double. Milton-Jones has got 12 and 5, and Parker, 20 points and 9 boards. She is 1 rebound away from another double-double. Milton-Jones twisted around down there, couldn't score, and they're going to say the ball was off of San Antonio.
You know, Larry, looking at the numbers, and you see all the percentages shooting, they're not good. They're low numbers.
Exactly.
But I like this game by the Sparks still being up 10. This is what you would call an ugly win if they're able to finish this game out.
Believe me, they will take it. No question about it. They're only shooting 34%. They're getting outshot 38% to 34%. But the Sparks have the lead. They're up by 10 with 3:30. It has been brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers and by Carl's Jr. Try the new prime rib $6 burger served with grilled onions and horseradish sauce. Only at Carl's Jr. LA Sparks looking to pick up a full game on the first place San Antonio Silver Stars. And the fans enjoying what they are seeing tonight. Speaking of fans, an email from Chris, and I just wanted to let you know that we love listening to your coverage and your work, and Derek's work on the televised game was fabulous. We have season tickets in section 111. We always love saying hi to you in every game and listening to your radio coverage on our way home when we have to leave early. Wouldn't be the same without you. Go Sparks. Chris, you got a fan.
Wow,
you got a fan. The Sparks just keep pouring it on. Immediately after our game tonight, Lisa Leslie, in my own words, half-hour program interview I had a chance to do with Lisa. And I think you'll find out a lot of things about Lisa that you maybe didn't know before. And there's even more things that you may not know about Lisa in the book that we wrote together. Don't let the lipstick fool you. Lisa on the night with a double-double. 14 points and 10 rebounds. Ruth Riley has fouled out of the game. That's her 6th personal foul. That's the book I'm talking about. You can find it, see it says down there, forward by Irvin Magic Johnson. Only the best. Only the best. You can find that at bookstores. You may have to go back to the basketball shelves to find it, but believe me, it's there. And available at Amazon.com as well. And Lisa and I will be signing copies of that book after tonight's game. The people who bought them tonight at the Team LA store here at Staples Center. Hopefully we get to do that after the Olympic break as well. Miss from the free throw line. So Lisa now with 11 double-doubles. Tops in the league. And Parker is just 1 rebound away from joining her. 3:15 to play. And blocking foul is going to be called on Keisha Brown. Second foul on KB and the 5th against the team. Becky Hammond is 4 for 4 from the stripe. Tops in the league in free throw shooting. Does she just practice more at it, Fish? Or are there people who are just good at it naturally? How do you get to be good at free throw shooting?
Well, I think it's a combination of mechanics and techniques and repetition, you know, in order to be a very high percentage free throw shooter. But repetition, I think, really is the key. You know, your form is obviously important, but repetition of being able to do the same thing is the key to making shots. And Becky Hammond, you know, her muscle memory is obviously, you know, great, being able to shoot 95% from the free throw line.
Milton-Jones scores down low as we hit the 3-minute mark. Give the assist to Lisa Leslie. 14 points for Milton-Jones. Hammond inside to Waters. A little teamwork at both ends of the floor. 66-56. 16 points for Waters. Bobbitt's got a season high, 7 assists in this game. Lisa Leslie traveling. Silver Stars get it back. 15 turnovers now against the Sparks. 18 against San Antonio. Johnson brings it into the front court. Down low to Young. Tried to take advantage of the height advantage she had on Bobbitt, but Leslie came over to help out defensively and got called for the foul. That'll be 4 on Lisa.
(16-1) offensive rebounds for the Sparks.
Unbelievable.
That's where they've done the damage here to win this game. When you don't shoot a high percentage from the field, if you can get a lot of them back,
That's right.
It'll give you a good chance to still win a basketball game, and that's what the Sparks have done tonight.
Hey, the summer's biggest event returns to Fox live from historic Yankee Stadium. Last All-Star game at Yankee Stadium. It all starts with MLB All-Star Red Carpet Parade. That'll be presented by Chevy, where you'll see more Hall of Famers than anywhere else outside of Cooperstown. Big dramatic entrance down New York 6th Avenue. Celebration begins tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 Pacific Time, only on Fox. That should be fun. A couple of freebies make it 66-58. Spartan wanted to go high-low, couldn't go. Ball knocked away by Waters, another turnover. You cannot leave the door open to San Antonio. Believe me, they have not played their best basketball yet. And if they start hitting threes, we'll have a ball game. Waters inside, the fade, nice shot.
Very nice shot.
6-point game.
That was smooth.
1:50 to play. And Michael Cooper wants a timeout. You do not want to leave an opportunity for San Antonio. They're too good.
No, you don't.
They are too good.
You don't. That's why Michael Cooper took this timeout. You know, he wants to make sure they get a good shot here, this possession.
Look at this shot by Waters.
Once again, her teammate leads her to her open hand where the defender is not. She's able to gather and catch that ball as she's turning away from the basket. Shoot a nice fadeaway there in the lane, real smooth. And, you know, we talked about, you know, who's going to be that player outside of Becky Hammond, outside of
Sophia
Young, that's going to be the difference maker. And Ann Waters is continuing to be the difference maker here for the Stars in the second half.
Well, we mentioned in our pregame, watch out for Hammond, Young, and Waters, and those are the three in double figures right now. After tonight, Sparks have all road games up to the Olympic break. Thursday will be at Phoenix. Saturday at Houston, then on to Detroit, a back-to-back Connecticut, and then New York. And then finishing up on July 27th against Minnesota, then almost a full month off for the Olympic break. San Antonio has put together an 8-2 run in the last minute and 40 seconds or so. Got another email here from Wendy from Tennessee. I'd like to know your opinion on team chemistry. Seems that when the Sparks played Phoenix, that Parker and Bobbitt and Spencer, when they were on the floor, the chemistry was better. At times it seems the offense has no continuity, but it seems better with those three in together. What is your opinion? You have numerous Lady Vols fans who listen to this station to hear the games. Those fans follow everything that goes on. It is like a cult, a big orange Lady Vol madness. Wendy from Tennessee. If you had asked me before tonight's game, I'd say the chemistry, failing grades in chemistry. Tonight, a whole lot better.
Tonight they're moving the basketball. The ball's been inside, out, around the several different players. They still have, you know, a few too many turnovers than what I would like to see for, you know, a home team, but they're playing good basketball in terms of sharing the basketball together.
That was one of the Sparks owners, Kathy Goodman, trying to get everybody stoked. The final minute and 40 seconds. Parker, fouled by Busher. Well, Milton-Jones got an Olympic jersey before the game, and they made her work every minute since. She's played all 38 minutes tonight.
Well, I guess they figure, you know, if you're going to get a chance to take a break, you know,
we're going to get everything out of you.
We're going to work you hard on the way out before you go represent our country. I'm happy for Delisha, though. She's been great to the game of basketball, and in particular for women's basketball, obviously. And you know, she went through some knee injuries and different things in her career, and you know, she's put herself in a position to represent the country, which is, you know, one of the greatest honors an athlete can ever get the opportunity to have. And so congratulations for sure to Delisha and her husband and her family.
Won a couple of championships with the Sparks, and then was not real happy with things here and wanted to trade. They sent her off to Washington, and she did not have a good experience there at all. Finally told the Washington Mystics, you know, if you don't trade me, I'm not going to play next year, which will be this year. And they took her seriously, and she was serious. And they worked out a trade for Taj McWilliams-Franklin. And Dee is just thrilled to be back. You know, a lot of times you don't know how good you have it until you go somewhere else, and then you say, "Man, why did I even leave?" And that's kind of her situation. And she's very open about it. She said, I made a mistake, and I've matured over the years, and I realize how good things are here.
That's the truth. But I guarantee you, as the stats will show you this year in terms of what she's doing out on the floor, that experience made her a better player because she now appreciates even more the opportunity she has here with the Sparks and here in the city of Los Angeles, where the fans are great, And she's having a great year so far. Hopefully the Sparks can improve their consistency as a team and have a chance to win a championship.
They certainly have the talent. And we'll have free throws coming up for Becky Hammond. This is what you don't want to see. You don't want to see the clock stopped and Hammond at the free throw line. That's just like saying, okay, put 2 more points on the board for San Antonio.
Well, she's not too bad at making free throws with the clock running as well. I was checking her out, reading it before the game.
Did you see
and
that?
The media guy, yeah.
Isn't that
and they
amazing?
said she made 38 out of 42 free throws in 60 seconds.
In a minute. She obliterated the Guinness World Record for most free throws made in a minute in the women's category. 38 of 42 in 1 minute.
In 60 seconds. Unbelievable.
Yes, you got them both, and we've got a 6-point game with 1:20 to play. Bucks have to play smart here to get a good shot. Bobbitt. For Leslie, knocked away from behind by Waters. 2 on the shot clock. Bobbitt fires. Offensive rebound, another one for the Sparks. That is absolutely huge as we get inside of 1 minute to play. And Vicki Johnson commits the foul on Milton-Jones. So if the Sparks can carry this out and get the win, they will move within a game and a half of San Antonio. And they'll be 1/2 game behind Seattle. Storm now sitting in 2nd place. And interesting, because after the game at Seattle on Saturday night, Lauren Jackson headed back to Australia. She's joining the national team. So Seattle is going to have to play up to the Olympic break without Lauren Jackson. We'll see just how good they are.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
and they're good.
They are good. You know, Swin Cash and
you got Swoops out there. You got Yo Griffith playing well.
A lot of talent.
And Sue Bird just happens to lead the league in assists. And San Antonio, look at the body language right now. And they're not happy. Milton-Jones. They'll get another try here. But the Sparks up by 6. That one's good. VJ, Lawson Wade. 2 Sparks in for the rebound. Ferdinand Harris comes up with it, and she's fouled by Becky Hammond. We'll just take a moment here to thank our statistician, Doug Mann, who's worked with us all season long and for many, many seasons.
Doug is the man.
He is the man. And Bettina Shore's been working with us, interning from Syracuse University this year, and has just done a great job of helping out with statistics and keeping track of things that are real important to our broadcast, both on radio and TV. And she'll be heading back to Syracuse during the break. And I want to say thanks to her for a job well done. Ferdinand Harris at the line.
I think I'm going to cry, Larry. Going back to Syracuse.
You're getting all misty.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know how we're going to do it without her.
I don't know. She wants to be a play-by-play person. We'll be doing some lacrosse up at Syracuse. Okay. Parker with a rebound, and the putback is good. Sparks up by 9 with 42.6 to play. Dan Hughes wants a 22nd timeout. Now, you know who the great lacrosse player was at Syracuse?
Lacrosse player? A great lacrosse player at Syracuse?
Great lacrosse player. We'll talk about, take a look at some of the hustle here first.
Offensive rebound again, which makes, I think, 19, maybe 20 for the game for the Sparks. That's the difference. I mean, Marie Ferdinand, who missed 3 free throws tonight, shooting 94%, but, I mean, the Sparks get it back. And you look at the stats tonight, you know, they'll shoot 35% and not shoot it well at all, but they've played hard and they've hustled and they've competed. And a lot of those little things that you've always talked about night in and night out, Larry, they've done them tonight, and that's the difference in the game.
Definitely have. All right, former great lacrosse player at Syracuse, also played football at Syracuse, and went on to a Hall of Fame career in the NFL.
Jim Brown.
You got it. Jim Brown.
There it is.
Jim Brown.
He played lacrosse?
He played lacrosse, and from what I've heard, he could have been fantastic had he just stuck with lacrosse.
He seems like he could have just been fantastic at anything, you know? I mean,
that guy was a great athlete.
He would have been the greatest bowler to ever play, the greatest football player, greatest lacrosse player, greatest basket weaver, all of the above, you know.
Some people got it, and some people don't. He got it. Becky Hammond cut off by Ferdinand Harris, and they're calling an offensive foul on Hammond. How about Marie stepping in there and getting the call? Now, the Sparks needed this. Believe me, they needed this.
It's a good win to get before going out on the road. You know, you win a good quality game at home against a good team. It gives you the confidence that you can beat anybody at any time, and hopefully they can carry this out on the road.
Now, Coop said before the game, after losing at Sacramento and Seattle, this was definitely a must game. And a must game against the #1 team in the Western Conference. Well, not only a win, but you pick up a full game on the first-place team. And the Sparks did not have an easy road. You saw the road schedule coming up. It's tough, and a back-to-back will be in Connecticut next week, play a game against the Sun, take a bus down to New York that night, and have to play the New York Liberty the very next night at Madison Square Garden.
Well, I'll tell you what, you could, you know, obviously you don't have a men's team in Connecticut at this point, but you know, if you line up all those other teams in the NBA, that's a tough schedule. You talk about Phoenix and Houston and Detroit, you know, the first three, and Connecticut, New York, and then Minnesota. You know, these are tough teams to play out on the road, and the Sparks are going to be very, very tested on this trip.
No question.
We'll see how tough they are mentally, more than even physically.
6 games in 12 nights. 13 seconds to play. Ferdinand Harris with the steal. And she'll take it in for the layup against her former teammates. And that is going to do it. I can feel the coaching staff, the fans, the owners, the players, all breathing a collective sigh of relief. Sparks win it 75-62. Their record now 13-8. San Antonio drops to 15-7, and the Sparks pick up a full